J-CCCP is structured into, we have three outcomes, right? And the first outcome is linked to assisting the country in formulating its national adaptation and mitigation plans. If we look at outcome 2, which is the pilots, where we had a certain amount of money that we could use to fund pilot projects related to implementing climate technologies in the country, we opted to divide those funds into two categories, one being government-related projects and one being projects from NGOs, CBOs.
Enhancing access to improved drinking water for the Maroon community of Asigrong. My role was to assist the ministry to coordinate the daily implementation in Asigrong. We had to identify the households which needed this rainwater harvesting system. We came up with 66 households, and the following step was to organize the vocational training in the community, which exists in two parts. The first one is to train the community how to build a concrete base platform to place their Duro tank, and the second part was to build a guttering system on the identified households.
The instrument which is installed here is a digital telemetric instrument. With this instrument, you can measure the water level, and that water level it is stored digitally. This station was established before the Afobaka League, Van Blommestein League has been established. So all those data are available, and now we have to continue with collecting the data. And if you have the data from the past and the current one, then you can identify what the impact is of climate change.
If you don't have these, you are guessing. And everybody can guess. You can guess, I can guess. You don't need the hydrologists, you don't need the trained people. You want to have, hey, you have been there, you have what you have seen. But these are all information, probably secondary level. But the first, you're supposed to have what's going on with water, how long the droughts will take place. Because not only flooding is important, more important is also the drought. Because if you take forest fire, then you have lost a lot of biodiversity. And you have to be careful with that.
In this project, we had three main components. The first one was to build a greenhouse, and the greenhouse has an irrigation system, a rainwater harvesting system, and also raised beds. The second component was to give a training to the managers of the children's home and also the children.
So the training was a 3-month training, and we had about 12 to 20 children here. I think along the way they will get the technical insight, how to work in the field. It is also a potential job opportunity if they want to work in the farming business.
Problem we had here in Kampung Sawa is mainly the flooding. Because of the climate change, the heavier the rain, the higher the flooding. The biggest problem is this. They all had old toilets. They call that kakos. And the problem is when it rains heavy, it's flooding and everything that's in the hole comes out.
Other communities here in Marienburg also have this problem. So we have to now look at what has worked here, and then we could transfer it to the other parts of Marienburg.
The main thing that we always keep in mind is how can we build further on what it is that we already have. Not duplicate, but try to strengthen what it is that we already have, make it better and make it great.